Welcome to part 29 of FIFA 17 The Journey, and it's a long one, so there's going to be more matches at least.
So I'm gonna do Pedro's running thing and ask Dwibs, is this the part where the cutscenes actually correlate with the story more?
Let me scan along the
Hell,
things, the YouTube
forget that job.
preview
It's not even
thing.
Forget that job. It's not even a matter of correlating. I just want the cutscenes to actually go somewhere.
I know, right?
Hang on, I'm scanning. Well, there is a cutscene at the end, but it's more sponsorship stuff.
So,
Yeah.
Dej, your input?
So this is nothing but 40 minutes of matches?
Yes.
Ugh.
So, Deji, how much do you know about football?
You
So-
asked me this in part 1 or something.
Did I?
Yes.
Dwibs, we're going to have to start doing this new method. Like, every time you want to ask a question about something, you first need to check with me. Hey, Pedro, have I already asked this? We're going to need to start doing that, because otherwise we're going to have to do this all the time.
You know, actually, since Deji's here, I think I might throw quiz questions at him.
Go ahead.
Welcome to
Are you ready,
every one
Deji?
of you.
Go
Thanks
ahead.
for joining us for
Okay.
this match from the Liberty Stadium here in South Wales. Alan
Well, actually,
Smith
I was going to ask
joining
where
me,
Swansea
Martin
City
Tyler
are
for
based, but the guy literally just said.
Get on with it.
Where a Swansea City bit, yeah, no shit. Okay.
Well, it's obvious to sheep where she lives there. But anyway,
The clue's in the name. You don't have to live here.
Well, we've got the young talent before
Anyway,
our eyes today.
Deji,
We'll be watching Alex Hunter.
um,
What have you made of him so far?
what was the last time the United States faced England in a competitive football match? What was the
When
score?
Swansea City were playing at the old Vetch Field.
0-1.
In the fourth tier of English football. You
What was that?
just
Sorry, what was
couldn't
that,
imagine
Deji?
they'd have a
0-1.
home like this at the Liberty Stadium, and they'd have a team like this.
It's incredible, isn't it? We don't ever really talk about Swansea as potential relegation.
Well, who are you saying
Look at
0-1
the
in
stadium,
favour of?
it's all
You
set
or
up for
us?
top-class
Close, but
football.
no cigar.
They've had some good footballers in
Well,
here.
we've been kind of struggling recently, so... Also, yeah, come on. Why do all the teams I play always fall for this tactic? I run up to the keeper and then pass it when he can't...
Difficulty
to someone when he
setting.
can't possibly get there in time.
Difficulty setting, Dwibs. What did you set it to?
There's what you need to do is like always pick always pick a difficulty setting depending on the team, or maybe do something like what I do with Blue Dragon, where like when I'm playing Blue, I mean,
Or sleep while playing it.
I'm on an. Aside from that, when I'm doing New Game Plus, I mean, I've already got my characters all maxed out, but I'm playing an impossible difficulty, and trust me too, there's a point in the disc 2 where it's not even a difficulty spike there, it's a difficulty stalagmite. I'll just tell you that.
Really?
The game literally goes from being a breeze to being nearly fucking impossible in like 2 minutes. It's like we're back to the NES.
Yeah. Okay, now I've got another question for Deji.
Go on.
What year was the last time the United States hosted the World Cup?
Well, he lost his footing at the
I
crucial
don't know.
moment.
It seemed that way.
I don't
It's a
care.
Slippery old surface
No.
down there.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's-
we've all had
Get your feet sorted out.
Okay, Jova, do you know the answer?
What was the
So you wanted
question?
to come into our longest FIFA part and didn't care about football. I'm sorry, I'm failing to understand something here.
Deji, are you trying to sabotage us?
Oh, was it 1999, by the way?
Deji, I know you...
1994.
Ah.
I don't care. I care immensely.
No, but how
Anyway.
dare you say such phrases of hate?
Oh, no, 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 no. That joke...
What?
That joke was around before
We're-
he issued it.
Implications here, right?
That
Moving
joke-
on.
That joke
yeah,
was...
let's move on.
That
Let's
joke
move
was
on,
around
guys.
before that dickhead said it.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's not touch.
So yeah, Dad, we could move on by you answering the question that he was supposed to you.
He did, we just got it wrong.
Goalkeeper almost got there.
No, I mean the fact
Strong
that
enough
White
touch.
Yeah, he's annoyed with himself, isn't he?
you
Having
jumped
got a touch
in.
on it, feels he should have done better.
Why do okay, I have a better question. Why do you guys do commentaries of games you don't like?
Deji.
You don't like
There's
either.
a lot to talk about.
Deji.
Well,
That
Well, to be fair, Deji, like if we did nothing but games that we like, our commentary would be all the same.
Deji, for further reference, philosophical dodging of the question is illegal.
To give you an idea, Deji, I hate Final Fantasy XIV with all my might, and yet that's one of our best. And I would argue that's one of our best playthroughs.
It's called spreading the message, Dej.
Like, let me put it like this, Deji.
Just pretending it's a good game.
Besides, there is some good.
At least I have a good knowledge of football. I mean soccer. I mean.
You had it right the first time.
You had it right both times.
Not just that, but it's also a matter of
principle. Sometimes we get the message out about how games are bad, like with Mighty Number 9. Would you believe that it's almost been a year since we commentated on that game, and only just now the handhelds are getting announced by Level 5 Concept?
Oh, I got a question for Shirai, actually.
Good.
Okay.
The answer is well.
No. When was the last time in a competitive football fixture that Wales beat England?
He had options left and right as well, so what a poor decision.
2003?
In 84.
Shit.
You haven't since then. You faced us 5 times, and we've beaten you every time.
Oh, whoop-de-doo. Cookie?
Yay!
Go get it yourself.
Actually,
Go get your own cookies.
I actually found this site where it holds records of matches against a certain country, and it can actually be quite useful for this little question. Hey,
Yeah, make
Pedro.
sure you have the answers up in front of you every time.
Yeah. Hey, Pedro.
yes.
When we faced Portugal in 2004 in the Euros, what was the, discounting the penalties, what was the final overall score in that match that made it go to penalties?
I think it was either 2-2 or 4. I'm gonna go with
2-2.
Yeah, 2-2.
Yeah, like the 2-2 Ronaldo wears.
Yeah, I think it was in 2006. It was a 1-1.
Also, Tio.
Yeah. Go ahead.
When was the last time that we beat Italy in any kind of fixture?
No idea.
2012. Since then we faced you twice, and we lost one and drew the other.
Did you lose on penalty kicks?
No, we lost the match.
But did you lose it on penalty kicks?
No.
Penalty kicks.
Right, Jova.
Yes?
What year was the first time England faced the United States?
Spectacular style.
Wow.
1985?
1950.
I feel like you've asked me that question before.
No, I asked you what the score was. No, actually it was Deji that I asked. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think we got a chance to talk about during our E3 viewing. But what do you guys feel about this getting the story mode's getting a sequel?
It better be better than this. I'm just saying, it better be better constructed than this story mode.
Well, there was one wish that Jova got. Jova wanted the protagonist of the next one to be Alex Hunter again, and well, there you go.
That is nice.
I thought they were either going to A, drop it, because I didn't know what the general reception of the...
Yeah, worse that they would probably dropped a prototype too and made a completely different guy who at the end has to face Hunter out of fucking nowhere.
And then leaves in the sequel with the main protagonist saying, "What do we do now?" And we never get a sequel.
Fucking hell, man. Fuck Activision.
Yeah.
I am so sorry, Prototype fans.
Prototype.
Alright then.
I heard those games are good.
They were, but
they're fun. They're not Shakespearean in any way, but they're fun. The only problem that is that they try to rival Infamous in terms of genre and scope, and they were the one who got beaten too much by it.
So I guess you can say their legacy was infamous.
It's a shame because since they worked for Activision before, I could see, for example, Platinum Games making a new prototype. That's kind of right up their alley, but the problem is they never did. Well, not too big of an open world game like Prototype did. I'm not sure if they're comfortable with.
They scaled down. Yeah.
Well, we didn't even knew it was supposed to be open world anyway. The closest thing was, from what is seen here, Ordinary Automata, and even then it's just a collection of areas that are not too open world.
Hey Siri, got another one for you, and it's a more recent game.
I probably still get it wrong, but sure, go ahead.
The answer is an entire team made of ships.
I'd stop watching football if they started putting animals in teams.
Anyway, when England faced Wales in the Euro 2016 match in the group stage, who scored Wales's goal?
I can't name individuals.
Gareth Bale.
Fair enough.
As always.
Well, it's probably the best thing Wales had in that tournament.
The only good thing Wales has to be there.
On his left side, he's so dangerous. The timing was great, and the
Don't I think so? Aren't I so patriotic?
Well, you got further than we did.
Yay!
You lost to Portugal in the end, but still.
Still, we didn't lose to you, and that's
so they lost to
No, you did lose to us.
Oh shit.
Attack was looking good. Now the opposition have a chance.
We beat Wales.
So Shira, you're also telling me you will love something like in the animated section of Bad Knocks and Broomsticks. So.
I guess. I haven't seen that movie for a long time.
You should. It's fun. It has inanimated objects kicking Nazis.
All right.
So, so far, yes. You know, well, to be fair, Middlesbrough were kind of poor this season, so this kind of scoreline isn't really all that unrealistic.
Yeah, and you're destroying them once again. Jesus.
Off the bar.
It hit the bar, but none of the opposition got there in time, so I just
love this guy.
Has happened here. Well,
came off the bar, just headed it back in.
You'd have been proud of this one.
Well, he timed the jump and he timed the header perfectly. A wonderful example.
Who is this guy? Laurent. Oh, he's the one with 2L.
Laurent. He's Spanish, and but his first two letters are 2 L's, and there's quite a lot of places in Wales that have 2 L's. So
yeah, I don't understand why the 2 L's at the beginning.
Because Shiro, can you explain?
Well, it's the same logic of whoever came up with the name Arzak.
What's so bad about Arzak?
2 A's from last battle, Dwibs.
Okay, hey Pedro.
Yes, Dwibs.
True or false? Portugal have lost to Wales. Ever.
Well, by the laws of probability, they must have.
Yeah, for lots of probability. I mean, like there's like a bajillion years. Like, I'm just gonna go with yes. At some point, they must have lost to it.
Yeah. But that was all the way back in 1951.
Yeah.
Here's a chance.
You're
how
just
did I miss that? How did I miss that?
It's you? I guess.
I mean, honestly, it must be used since apparently the difficulty in this team is so bad that you have them 7 to zip.
What happened was this, because you were making fun of Wales, Shiroi cursed you.
Now you're no, not Dwibs. Now it's gonna be like Catherine. In night you'll be like a sheep and you'll be forced to climb the blocks.
And I must say,
Hey Jova, got a question for you now.
Right.
sliding in, don't they? And going for challenges.
Yeah, I never thought of that actually. The
Jova?
whole
Go on.
Just if they start
Go ahead.
plunging in, I think what the ref has to look at is whether the ball is getting caught
What
up in
year
little
was
puddles
the
on surface.
only ever meeting held between the United States and Wales?
1988.
2003.
Close, I guess. Go ahead, Pedro.
Yeah, go on, Pedro.
America
I mean,
won 2-0.
The whole scenario.
Oh, we won. Nice.
The whole scenario of Catherine's plot just screams like it was written by a Welsh person.
Well, it's more symbolic, you know. Lambs are
To arrive at that
a
conclusion.
huge religious metaphor.
Dwebs, men who mistreat women are turned into sheep.
It's a terrible place to give the ball away.
I see.
I mean, mankind, ever since it's dawn, has always been into, what's the name, domesticating animals anyway. So sheep are probably one of the first things they tamed. But again, in religious figure, which by the record Atlus loves to do, in case you don't know, lambs and sheep are prominent figures that represent stuff like the sacrificial lamb, used in Judaic religions or paganism for sacrificial routes, represents the metaphor of Jesus' supposed death and resurrection, shits like that. And the climbing is again multiple things. The Ascension, climbing to freedom, reaching God, the Tower of Babel, the list goes on.
This has been yet another episode of Tails Kevin's Useless Knowledge.
Shut up, you have to learn something. That's the tagline.
And then that's
No. This title, we should call this part Trivia with Dwibs.
Actually, all of the parts have been like this because that's just how little we have to talk about because there's so little cutscenes in the story.
And you harp on me. Okay.
well, we can still harp on you, but it's still
Not really that. I'm in this playthrough because I like FIFA games.
Well, I actually am in this one because I wanted to know what the story, but I kind of regret it now.
Well, to be fair. Hopefully,
I mean,
will
the
edit
story
these,
itself,
yeah.
I'm actually the more positive when. Oh, hold on, let's just the interview for now.
The gaffer's been pushing for more goals, and that comes down to me. But I wouldn't even have netted one if it weren't for the great tactics we've been playing and the wicked team around me.
Ball licking.
So, Alex, man of the match.
Get it,
A special game for you, or just another day?
It's a metaphor.
I'm just happy to have contributed today, Karen. This league is so competitive. The
Yeah,
pace
so
fast.
competitive.
You're
destroying the other position.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
You may actually being humble.
Well, to be fair, it's not like EA can predict one team utterly demolishing every other team like every match.
Hey.
I don't know. There should be a reaction to stuff like that.
Well, the commentators do have that reaction.
To be fair, it's all scripted, just like basketball.
What?
It is. Man, I'm sorry. I'm beginning to think that basketball is scripted.
Where is this coming from? Oh, cutscene.
What I'm saying.
I feel good, really good.
So you lied to us, please.
Shows on the pitch. Keep it up, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, my answers, I always give the blandest answers because...
Just like in real life.
Keep that mindset and you'll go far.
That's all I want.
Okay, and...
Why does it look like he's about to fall asleep? Why does it look like he's about to fall asleep?
He's tired,
Dwibs. Tell me that actually affected something. Tell me that cutscene actually affected something.
Well, it affected his relationship with the manager due to the choice he took.
Yeah.
That was 1 or 2 sentences from the manager at best.
Anyways, I was saying...
He's the coach who talks to the manager.
Here's the thing, that I'm probably the most positive of the bunch when it comes to the story. Oh, another cutscene. Okay.
Oh, wait. Maybe
nah, it's about the Ultimate Team thing again.
What? No, wait. Ultimate Team. What?
It's that thing FIFA's had for a while where you pick players and you tie them together. It's not as simple as it's a bit complicated to explain. But basically, you have to pick the best team, not just in terms of how good they are, but you also have to make sure they gel well together.
You know, why doesn't the game itself have a cutscene to explain stuff like this? Like, okay, let's imagine that an American... Hold on, let me finish. Well,
actually, Joe, I was going to answer your question. To be fair, the commentators do mention what that cutscene was about before the match starts, which is in this case now it's against Tottenham Hotspur.
You know,
aka the team that really wants to win the Premier League, but even if they get close, they lose to either us, Chelsea, or Leicester City.
See, here's the problem. Imagine an American soccer fan playing this game, only it's going with the European Premier League. What if that soccer fan doesn't know about how the European Premier Leagues go? How will they know the stakes in regards to the story and stuff? Well, Tio, I said an American soccer fan. Like, well, maybe he's a fan of American soccer, but doesn't really go into the European bouts of soccer. Like, you know there are people like that.
Aren't isn't this game kind of like adapted to each country or something?
All versions play in the Premier League. I mean, in that case, it makes sense since the Premier League is the most well-known league in the world.
Yeah, basically in every version, it apparently takes place England-wise.
Well, honestly, Java, considering how repetitive and similar is, I don't see that much difference between, like, say, the Premier League and, for example, my country's version of it, because it's pretty much the same thing.
It's a bit different from some of the American leagues. So, see, the thing is, like, look.
Honestly, Java, the only thing that could make different if someone freed suddenly tigers in the field or something.
What I mean is this, though. What they could do is at the very least have cutscenes explaining how the Premier Leagues and stuff go. Like, seriously, if you're not going to have cutscenes, actually, let me finish.
It's not meant to be about that, though. It's meant to be about, Hunter's journey, not like a complete encyclopedia into how the Premier League works. And let's turn into the last football.
Well, Dwibs, I'm not asking for an encyclopedia. What I'm asking is for them to cleverly weave in tiny bits of dialogue actually hinting at that. That's not hard.
Shyamalan's The Last Footballer.
Oh, come on, Dwibs. Now you're just stretching there. Like, seriously.
Besides, it's called Bold Banjo, Dwibs.
Yeah. Look, it is not hard to cleverly weave in stuff actually describing your world and whatnot, or how things go. And like I said, this game's already low on cutscenes as it is.
That kind of thing will be just better if it's Dwibs, fucking really.
Yeah, that
wasn't that thing should be like relegated to a data log option or something.
They don't even have that.
Well,
he does, and I think the manager needs him, doesn't he?
Give me a sec.
That exuberance, that enthusiasm and energy that Alex
Hashtag making waves. Is that a thing in Wales, Shiroy?
No, that's the thing, Jova. Yeah, the game doesn't do that, but honestly, I don't mind the fact that the game is not hammering into it, because otherwise it would be just a gigantic commercial for it.
What I'm saying, though, is that from the perspective of an American soccer player, say we don't know about the Premier League, how are we supposed to know that?
Not just Americans play this game.
I'm the perspective of a complete external fan to this, and I don't mind.
Oh, I get that. I'm just talking about from the perspective of someone. In that regard.
Jova, it's a league where the one who gets more points wins. That's about it. This is not rocket science.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want? A documentary?
That's why sport is as so many as millions of fans, because it's easy to understand even for the dumbest of people.
True.
I don't know. Sometimes I think that's debatable.
Yeah, that does just bring up a good point.
The caveman behavior of a lot of hooligans, and I don't mean just British hooligans. All the countries have them.
In fact, I'm going to test that theory right now. Siri.
Yeah.
In a league game, how many points do you get if you win?
3.
And it was a question for Shiroi too.
Yeah, but that's exactly my point. It's the same thing in my country.
Okay, alright, Tio,
experiment.
Okay, now I'm going to ask Shiroi again this time. Tio, you have to be quiet.
Sure, go ahead.
How many points do you get if you draw a match?
2?
This is how this team can play.
1.
I rest my case. Thank you very much, Dwibs. You've been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful
Well,
help
not
there.
actually, Jova, that's only
She was not really a good example, but whatever.
Well,
No, I'm not,
that's the
because I
thing,
don't, I don't watch this.
Again,
That's the thing. If it's from the
me neither,
perspective
yet
of a
I know about
casual,
this stuff, because
look.
it's easy to understand anyway.
If it could just be as simple as just, hey, you win this, you do that, but apparently no, there's stuff like, oh, if you score while at an away stuff, your points do different stuff here
Football's
and
been
there.
around for like over 100 odd years.
What I'm saying, Dwibs, is that not everyone
Exactly.
looks that deep into this. So,
We
look,
just officialized at the
Anyway,
beginning
in
of the
an
20th century.
Since we're not gonna reach an agreement on this anyway, Teo, could you go back to what you were about to say about the story?
Yeah, thank you. That you're still here.
Yeah.
alright.
Alright. What I was saying is, I'm mostly the most positive member when it comes for this group when it comes to the story mode because I understand where everyone is coming from. Also the frame rate. I understand when we're coming from for the story. But considering that 1 is the first attempt, 2 it's stacked onto a game that never had it before, and 3 it was a side project from a development team that probably didn't even care about it, I said it could have been much worse.
Okay, you know, I know what's
But here's the thing, I can recognize that the story mode is so spruced, and what's the name, it develops itself in response to how your performance goes, and this can take forever. It's kind of like a Quidditch match, honestly. It can take like three matches or a fuck ton of them. And but then honestly, I blame for this for the sake of this playthrough in particular. I honestly blame that on Dwibs' lack of editing skills.
Don't worry, in part 30 I
Yeah, you told us that you can improve, but that's the thing that if you think honestly too that the game doesn't do, the game still does, on its own doesn't do a good job, but that's for me to that I can recognize. But it's just for the sake of his playthrough. I just wish we had, well, not from the get-go, but at least from earlier, just the best of the match, and in order to progress faster into it, because otherwise it's just saying the same thing over and over, which is exactly the reason why I get bored very easily by this port.
Again, they could have tried more.
Sorry, can you repeat that, Dad?
You know what's funny? This game has a story mode, and Star Wars Battlefield 1 doesn't.
Battlefront.
Battlefront. I know that Battlefront doesn't hold a candle to the original, but yeah, it's called Battlefront, not Battlefield.
Sorry, it's because EA.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
well they're made by the same developers.
DICE?
Yeah, DICE, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I wonder what is Visceral instead doing, because we worked on the first Battlefront.
I think
Medal of Honor.
no,
Honor is
I
dead,
died
Jim.
with what's it called? Was it
I forgot.
Warfighter?
Yeah, that's the 2010 game, I think.
It was 2012 before it was.
Okay, I
Yeah,
forgot the
I
time.
think it was Warfighter.
Rabbit Luigi talked about it recently, I forgot which one was.
Did you hear his reaction towards Kingdom Battle? He's like,
Yes,
oh crap,
yes.
I'm in a video game.
Yes, I remember that I was in the Ubisoft conference, and that was the first thing that I said when they actually mentioned the Rabbit version of Luigi. I know that you were too busy being very salty about what Pyro said to you, but...
Look, I'm not mad against the idea. I'm just... To me, let's just sell this. I'm looking forward to the game. It really looks interesting. And when the minute I heard it was an RPG, that's why
Okay, that goalie literally dove out of the way of the ball.
Well, that's honestly, Jova, from the little experience that I see, people tend to do that also
No,
in real matches.
look at that.
People
The guy
are
was
stupid to begin
clearly...
with.
No, seriously, look at that. The guy was clearly running to that way for it, and he dove the other way.
Yeah, Joe, I don't understand
Well,
that one either.
keepers can be kind of daft.
Not that
Oh, I'm
dense.
making a mistake, Jova.
Or being on a low enough difficulty.
Actually,
rating.
Jova, the term properly is having conditioned reflexes.
Okay, fair.
Because
Okay,
it's
fair
the
point.
impulse given when the player kicks the balls, and your instinct is to guess in a fraction of a millisecond to the direction you need to go.
Fair enough.
Also, one more thing.
Although I still am going to chalk it up to the difficulty setting.
Also, my major thing with Kingdom Battle is that we got a proper
Well,
Mario.
that, as I mentioned, it's literally XCOM.
Yeah.
but with Mario and Rabbids.
My major issue is just that we got a proper Mario and Rabbids crossover, a proper Mario and Sonic one.
Well, let's just chalk that up to companies being stupid. Because honestly, Deji, look, the video game world is officially stupid. The fact that concepts are allowed to live, the fact that Bubsy can return, anything can happen.
Hey, to be fair, that was everyone. That's because of the stupid internet memes.
Yeah.
One thing this year proved is that a developer can buy themselves into independence and keep their IPs.
What are you referring
well,
to?
that's Hitman. For context, developers of Hitman, I think it's called IO team.
Oh yeah, that's right. Square Enix nearly dropped them just because Hitman.
Yeah, so they decided to instead go fully independent with their IPs because Square Enix threatened them to sell them. Well, they didn't never specify if they wanted to sell also the IPs, right? But the development team basically took the first step and decided to go fully independent. So technically now, Square Enix doesn't have any more the rights to the Hitman franchise.
Oh, good riddance. I mean, seriously, they mistreated that series so badly.
Honestly, Jova, that's the thing. It's like what I forgot who mentioned it. I think it was Super Bunny Hop. Here's the thing. Honestly, I never saw Hitman as something with potential because it is just another stealth game where you need to do assassinations and stuff. Honestly, it's all stuff that we've seen done much better in other games like Metal Gear.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that.
The question is, what does Hitman that the others don't, and that gets the appeal to it? You get a bold protagonist. That's it.
Oh, I agree with that, but we also need to keep in mind that Square Enix really mistreated that series badly. Like, seriously. They've had so many other series off before,
but that's because Jova, they completely don't understand their idols acquisition.
They don't. They really don't.
They didn't ruin Deus Ex, but they pretty much hindered it. Because honestly, Human Revolution was not that bad, but Mankind Divided tried to chew too much for its own good. And don't even get me started on the Tomb Raider reboot.
Which one?
No, I mean, but I kind of doubt they would.
Hold on, let Tia finish.
I mean, with the fact of it. Oh, Jesus. Dwibs, have you killed someone's leg again?
You got a red card.
I can explain.
Yeah,
anyway, let's see
sure.
how
Kaiba is not what it looks like.
Oh, wow! You grabbed and tugged him down.
Even your coach is pissed.
Oh no, I'm winning 4-0 and these...
Good penalty.
Great goaling.
Oh no, all they got to do is score 3 more.
What I mean is that their expectation of selling of the
Oh
game
yeah, the whole
like hotcakes.
Yeah, it didn't sell 10 million units, therefore it was
honestly, I don't mind stuff like the Mortal Kombat deaths or the fact that it tries to be an origin story. It's a reboot, so I guess it's as long as you don't do stuff like insulting the original series like DMC did, I'm fine.
Meanwhile,
I mean, technically, I guess that sequence where she goes like, "Ooh, I hate tombs" would have been
but
it's not that impact.
By that point, the original series was dead for like 10 years thanks to
the only main tries way too much to, try to take itself seriously when the first game had a fucking T-Rex as its first boss.
I'm not at all against a dark and gritty reboot of Tomb Raider. That can work. The problem is that the writing did not, meet the level of seriousness that the tone was going for. Like, it was such a complete, insane, and illogical plot, and yet it took itself completely and utterly serious, and that's what it's.
Pedro, you are going. I'm not saying this to excuse.
I've actually looked into Angel of
Let me
Darkness.
guess, Dwibs, the Rise of the Tomb Raider is even worse. I haven't seen anything about the game, so I don't know.
Let him actually finish.
Yeah,
Go on, Dwibs.
Please let me finish. I was just going to say, Pedro, if you don't like the 2013 reboot's plot, I'm not quite sure you can. I'm honestly not sure whether you'll think much of Angel of Darkness is plot either.
I've actually
Well,
started
based on
looking.
what you've told me, I'm probably not gonna hate it as well. So.
Yeah.
I don't doubt you on that. Don't worry.
Hey, Pedro, you were speaking of sales and being a failure. Meanwhile, with ARMS, it sold 100,000 in its first week in Japan, and it's considered to be a success.
What about the rest of the world?
Well, remember, Deji, those kinds of games usually don't sell that well in Japan anyway. So honestly, by Japanese standards, that's already good.
Anyways.
To finish what I was saying also before, aside from those that I mentioned, there's also how they mistreated, not just how mistreated Lake. First, there's also the thing that what they tried to do with Kane and Lynch, which was insane what they tried to do. Because remember, with the first game, someone dared to give it a 6 out of 10, and they actually paid its news company to fire him, the guy who found the giant bomb. And then they made a sequel which has no substance to it. It's long 4 hours.
Speaking of Kane and Lynch.
Funnily enough,
series still off there.
Well, actually, apparently, from what I've read, IDOS, before the Square Enix buyout, actually kind of forced IO to do that, whereas IO just wanted to do more Hitman. So when Square Enix took over, they were like, "Yeah, you can do Hitman."
Anyway, and the last thing was how they treated Legacy of Kain, because they completely ignored the title. They made an MMO that no one cared about called Nosgoth, which of course got shut down in after 1 or 2 years. And now the series is stagnating. And that's about also not counting the other dormant IPs like Gex.
Well, to be fair, they have that new thing, they have this...
Yeah, but so far, Dwibs, the only one that actually went with that program was Sushi Studio, which is making a new Fear Effect game, which is good. Honestly, that's a good thing, but it's just a single case, but it's not being followed by. So, I don't know. I can only hope it gets more followed.
We'll have to see in the future. Anyway, more training.
Yay! Let's see if you can actually make it through this one, Dwibs. Anytime.
It's a lovely day at the office, chaps. Let's get some work done.
But we're not in an office. Shut up! Yeah, I can imagine one of the players saying that to him. But sir, we're not in an office.
Yes, because in true sports movie plot tradition, coaches do not have characterization, but different from drill sergeant.
I miss the Italian guy.
I know that. That's what he said. I miss the,
I'm actually kind of I'm hoping he comes back in season 2.
Well, what is he doing now in real life?
No, he's just a character made up for the game.
He's not like an actual coach to a team?
No, he's a made-up character.
Really? I didn't know that.
But hey, I guess that's a testament to actually kind of how well the guy was written. So points there, I guess.
Yay.
Well, I guess I think it's better we like just one character than like none.
Well, honestly,
I'll take what I can get.
Well, to be fair, who knows? Maybe there are other good, better characters, on different storylines. Based on who you pick.
Another thing I actually do kind of like is how the guy who was the dick to you at the beginning slowly starts to warm up to you the more the story goes on.
And vice versa with your best friend. Also, Dwibs, I can see that your crossing fucking sucks.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I already told you about that little thing I had in the final part. I think we're. I don't know if it's in the next part or the part after, but we're close to finding out what team.
The motivation.
What team Mr. Knobhead joined up with after he left Swansea.
All right, because he was too snobbish for that.
Yeah. He grew a massive ego and. and left.
And yeah, you're not doing that much.
Nah, not really.
It's training, so.
Yeah, I mean,
meh.
I have to suck. I have to suck really bad in training.
It's training. It's boring. The old man. Sorry.
No, I got it. It's
I
training.
wish it was raining.
I think
I'm really glad it wasn't raining here today.
Guys, I've actually come up with a song that kind of sums up Jova's thoughts on the training.
Do I want to hear that?
Training is boring. Jova is snoring.
Saw that coming.
Says the one who's actually fallen asleep in a couple of the videos.
Shiro, you're
Wait.
the one who's saying that.
When did
do you
I fall
mean?
asleep during any of these videos?
There's times that you've fallen asleep too, aren't there?
That was a long time ago, though.
Right.
Time does not erase it.
Yes, it does.
So, yeah,
those two
basically-
decide to hug each other. Okay.
I'm having a hard time in this one. It's kind of making me a bit cross.
Ha 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 ha. Buy your torches.
I already have to deal with Deji's puns, Dwibs. So just
Go to the pungent.
Buy your torches and pitchforks here, folks who didn't like those puns.
Yeah, I gotta say, ever since I started making these puns, the torches and pitchforks industries have been doing rather well.
Put a sock in it, please.
So I guess
Let's
that's one.
Let's just focus
one
on
positive
soccer.
contribution I've made.
Hey, hey, hey. Puns make the world go around. If you don't like that, tough shit.
So yeah, I did well in one, but horrible in the other, and I lost a bit of point to the manager.
Alright, so you think that next is the cutscene? Yes.
Yeah,
So
the
can you
sponsorship
imagine
cutscene.
Could you imagine if we did a LP of Football Manager?
That was
Your sponsorship deal. Still with Adidas? Really?
well, Adidas
Honestly-
is basically the
honestly-
#1 brand when it comes to shoes.
Hey, it's better than Nike.
honestly, Deji, that would be kind of a. Honestly, Deji, I think
I
that'd
know,
be a
but
bit
why
dull.
couldn't it be? I forgot. Isn't like McDonald's one of the other big stuff with FIFA?
Alex Hunter.
Yeah, it's Nike and Adidas.
Well, to be
Always the brand
fair,
director on the
I
shoot.
think,
Pleasure to
well,
meet you, Mr.
I think
Dubois.
it's been a problem in football actually. Football's meant to be a sport where you're meant to be at the peak of physical fitness, and yet they're advertising McDonald's every 10 seconds.
That's because the players have to be fit, not the guys who
Katie!
cheer up for them.
Come on over here. I want you to meet Alex Hunter.
Also, an American.
Uh,
Are you all done with
she looks like she has eye bags. Let me see if we can get
Let's
close
get
up
Alex
to her.
here sorted.
She went to the Akira Hina
Kind
school.
of reminds
Ready?
me of that Jessica Chobits
How are the
character
lines
in Mass
coming?
Effect 3.
Yeah, okay, I think.
Oh god, that face.
First never follows.
That's not the line.
Uh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That sounds great.
Hey,
when
it's
we're
the
rolling, say it
rehearsals
like
for
that,
the
you
story
want
of this
money.
game.
You hear me?
Yeah, she kind of has eye
Have you met
bags. Maybe
Engel?
she knows Xeno or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot. Actually, I never.
Alex.
Well, whatever. I'll
Amigo,
ask you
¿cómo
later,
estás?
Pedro.
oh, mate.
Vamos a divertirnos hoy.
This is going to be
Is that
You know,
the
habla
guy?
español.
okay.
He
Real
looks
good.
like that guy
You
looks
get a
like
minute
Di
to
Maria
talk to
from
my
Real
assistant, he'll
Madrid.
set you up with
It
any
might
query.
be.
Anything you need to
I mean,
space,
this
boom,
game
it's
does have
yours.
a few
Engel,
actual
por
footballers in
favor.
it.
Oh, his name probably showed up in the subtitles, but I didn't notice.
It's just called Angel, but I mean, for all I know, it could be Angel Di Maria. Anyway, who's our next opponents for the next part?
Blah blah. Yeah, everyone loves you on Twitter and Verlasky.
It's...
We'll
no,
find
no,
out.
Now I'm gonna find out. Oh, West Ham.
Again.
West Ham
Alright.
in their new stadium.
So yeah.
All right, see you
Yeah,
then, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.